Hello, this video is supposed to help you understand how to use Google Fonts in your web page document. So I have a page here, and this page already is set up with a header, a main, and a footer. I didn't bother with the nav just for this example. And I've got the HTML and CSS right here. But I would like to make my fonts look better. Times New Roman is okay, but I really would like to have some nicer looking fonts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a website called fonts.google.com. So we've been here before in the class, but you should remember this website because this is where you get all the good fonts. So I'm going to look for a couple of fonts. I've already pre-selected them. The first one I'm going to look for is called April Fatface. I'm going to be using this for the H1. So this is the font that I want. Now what you can do is that you can change the appearance of it if you want. You can see what it looks like bigger or smaller. You can change the kind of text that you get, or you can even make custom text where you can put in any text that you want. Now this also tells you how many styles there are. If it says one style, that means that it's only what you see here. But if it's got more than one style, that means that there might be different weights or different thicknesses of the font, and maybe there might be special italic versions of the font. When you've decided that you want a font, just go ahead and click this little plus sign. When you click on it, it'll change into a minus sign. The second font that I want is called Railway, so I'm going to look for R-A-L-E, and sure enough, there's my font. Now this font, you'll notice, has 18 different styles. There's a lot of different styles here you can see, going from thin 100 all the way down to black 900 italic. So it's got quite a bit of variety here in terms of the thickness. So I'm going to select that one as well. And those are my only two. Now you'll notice at the bottom we've got a little black window sticking out here. It tells me that I've got two families selected. So if I just click on this anywhere, it'll bring up my my window to allow me to customize it and then figure out what the embed code is. So when I go to customize, you can see here that for April Fatface I just have the one option, but you'll notice I have a whole bunch of options here for the railway, up to I think it's 18. That means every single weight has both a regular and an italic. Now the italic is sometimes not significantly different. In railway, I don't really think I need to get the italic version. You can still use italic for the font if you don't choose the italic version. It just won't be quite as specially designed as it would be if you clicked on this, but it'll look fine for most fonts. So I'm going to choose the regular and the light. I found that if you go too light with a really thin one, that sometimes doesn't show up very well on many people's pages. I'll just go for the extra light just for fun. Then we're going to get the medium. I'm just going to go really for most everything. I'm going to skip 800 and go for the black 900. There we go. So now I've selected the all of the different weights and styles that I want to keep. So the next thing to do is to go to Embed. And so here, there's two things that I have to get. Number one, I need to get this embed code right here. It's the link tag. And then number two, I have to get these the CSS. Now, one thing I should note about the link tag. The link tag is not for the normal kind of link that you might be thinking about. We learned a different tag, the A or anchor tag. That's for the kind of link that you've heard about for a long time. That's to make a link in the text to take you to another page. This is not that kind of a link. This is rather a link or a connection to a style sheet. That is to say, to a special document that's going to change the style of your web page. And this goes in the head. So we're going to select this, and then we're going to copy it. And then we're going to go into our page in Komodo Edit, and after the meta, before the style, I'm going to paste what we have there. So now I have a link to Google Fonts, and it's going to allow my web page to use the Abril fat face and the Railway fonts, and the Railway font will have these specific weights. Now you have to make sure that this exact link tag is in the head section of every HTML document where you want to use those fonts. Okay, so that's the first step. The next step is to actually put the fonts into your CSS. So I'd like to use Abril fat face for my H1 tag. So I'm going to copy this. This is a CSS declaration. And I'm going to go to my H1 tag here, and I'm going to paste that right in there. So now I'm going to save that and go back to my web page. So you can see originally I was using Times New Roman for all of these. I'm going to reload, and now I'm using Abril fat face. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change the font size as well. I think it looks better if it's bigger. So font size, and let's try 38 point, just to choose one at random. And now I'm going to save that and reload, and there's my larger font. I think it looks quite a bit better. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is I'd like to use Railway in the rest of the page. I'm going to use that in my H2, my H3, and in the paragraph text. What's more, I'd like to use different weights or different thicknesses. Now remember, we had that scale from 100 to 900. 100 meaning thin fonts and 900 meaning really thick fonts. So we changed that by using the font weight property in CSS. So I'm going to make this one 900, this one 600, this one will be 300, and this one is going to be 200. Now keep in mind that 400 is normal text, that's what this is right here, and 700 is the normal bold text. So 900 is extra bold, 600 is a little bit less bold. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, I'm going to go in, and I need to make all of these into the Railway font. So I'm going to create a new tag where I'm going to say the H2, the H3, this is an additive selector, and the paragraph are going to be the font that I want. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get my Railway. So there we go, copy. And then I'm going to paste it into my new rule here. So if we do that and save it, we should see everything else on the page except for the H1 changed to Railway. And there we go. Now already this is automatically 700, 700, and 300. You'll notice that this did not change, and that's probably because there is no p tag there. So that's a good way to check to see that you did things correctly. Let me fix that. Put a paragraph tag here, and then put my copyright notice in there. That's a little bit out of date. Let's make it 2017. Save it, and now everything should be correct. There we go. Now it's all Railway there. Okay, so I'm going to go back in, and now I'm going to change the weight. Now for H2 is already up there, so I'm going to add a font weight to this one. There we go. And that's going to be 900 right there. Notice that there's no units for the font weight. We don't say pixels or point, it's just 900. Now I'm going to want the H3 to be 600. So I'm going to create an H3 style because I don't have one of those already. And that's going to be 600. So let me just go ahead and see what this looks like. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to bring it back over here. And now if I'm going to reload, you'll notice that this is now much more bold right here. This one, you didn't really probably see a difference in it. 600 is only slightly less thick than 700, but it does make a difference. Now this right here is automatically 400. I want to bring that down to 300. So again, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to create a P style. And for this one, I'm going to say font weight is going to be 300. That'll make it a little bit thinner. Let me save that and let's see what happens. So take a close look, see if we can notice it. And it's just a little bit thinner there. but I think that looks nice. And then finally for the footer, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a new style. I'm going to call it footer P to be more specific. And I'm going to say font weight is going to be 200. It's not going to be noticeably different again, but we should see a bit of a difference coming in here. And sure enough, if you take a look, you'll see that this is just slightly thicker than that one. If I change the footer P down to back up to 400, that's the normal weight, and then if I come back here and reload, you can see it's quite a bit thicker there. The difference between 200 and 400 is pretty noticeable. So I'm going to change that back to 200, and we're going to see how that looks. There we go. And now I've got Google Fonts on my page. So basically that's how you do it. Once again, you go to the Google Fonts website, you choose your fonts, you select them, you customize them, then you get the embed code, both the link and then the CSS declarations, and then you put them in your CSS and style your page to your liking. Remember, for your weekend for homework, you're going to have to put in Google Fonts, at least 2 Google Fonts, into your page. So please select some nice ones and make an interesting looking page. And that's it.